Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. No matter how nice the story is, it has to end. And every single story ends in exactly the same way. Eventually, we die. There's just no other option. There may be a live happily ever after for quite a long time, but at some point, it will end. Some may say this world is selfish, like in the last verse we saw. And there might be a few of us who are very fortunate where our family is not selfish, where people think, no, they truly love me for who I am, and they don't just want something from me. Those cases do exist, and indeed they are fortunate. But even such cases, where the story is so perfect, life has everything we want in it. When it comes to the end we have to face alone. Even if somebody loves us so dearly that they want to come with us, they can't. But mostly, nobody would want to come. And so, Bhaja Govindam continues to explain, Gatavati Vayu Deha Paye Bharya Bibhyati Tasmin Kaye. When the last breath leaves our body, and the body now is inert or dead, that the person who loved us the most, they don't even want to touch that body. And it's fair enough, because this body now is an empty shell. It's not the person we loved. The verse is explaining that this body is left aside, and so is every relationship that we enjoyed through it, and we continue on our own. When we know this, when we are aware of that being our destiny, then the intelligent thing to do is to plan for it. All of Bhaja Govindam is helping us understand so that we can make better decisions, so that we live our lives in such a way that when we have to meet certain challenges, we are better equipped for it. Gurudev used to say, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. How do we plan? We've already seen in the story of the four kings, through our actions. There's a Sanskrit proverb, a subhashita, that says, for one who is traveling, education is their friend. For one who is a householder, their spouse is their best friend. For one who is sick, medicine is their friend. And for the departed soul, meritorious deeds are their friends. When we have nothing else, we have our own mind, our own intelligence, our own memories, and our own ability to know right from wrong. And the way we've lived our life will determine where we go and how strong and able we are to face it. And so preparing is to live our lives ensuring that we do good deeds. Live our lives with a heart full of love for all beings. And most importantly, to cultivate a relationship with the divine. It can be, if we are used to the concept of Ishtadevata, to cultivate a relationship with Krishna, Shiva, Rama, Ganesha, or if we're not familiar with those forms and that tradition, to just cultivate a relationship and having a reverence for life itself, for an appreciation that there is a higher power that guides us. There is a lovely story about a farmer who owned a piece of land near the Atlantic seacoast. So far away was he from everyone that it was very hard for him to find hired hands to help him out in the farm. At one point, when he really needed the help, his own strength wasn't enough and his children were away, he was interviewing a particular person. The young man wasn't very good in the interview, for when the farmer asked him, "How good are you with the farm and what are your skills like?" he answered, "Well, I sleep when the wind blows." The farmer thought this was a strange answer, but he had no choice. There was nobody else applying for the job and he really needed the help, and so he gave the man the job. And for a few days he watched, and he liked that this young man stayed out of everyone's way. He didn't speak too much. He did his work. He's kept to himself. He was clean. He seemed to be efficient. And so they lived quite harmoniously on the farm together. Later in that month, the farmer heard the wind howling outside and realized there's a storm coming. He jumped out of his bed and he rushed to the barn where this young man was sleeping and shook him and said, "Get up! The storm is coming! Tie the things down before they are blown away." The little man rolled over in his bed and said very firmly, "No, sir, I told you, I sleep when the wind blows." The farmer at this point was quite angry, very, very irritated. The whole point of hiring this man was to get some help, and here he is sleeping when the storm is about to come. And so he thought the only thing he can do is do it himself, and he hurried outside. And he went to where all the hay was kept, and to his amazement, he discovered that it was all tied down and covered with turpentine. He rushed to see the cows, and they were all in the barns, along with the chickens, and the doors were barred closed. He ran to put the shutters down near the house and the barn, and only to find that they were tightly secured. Everything was already tied down, and nothing could be blown away. The farmer now understood what the man said, that he sleeps while the wind blows. When we know we have done everything that we need to have done, our minds are peaceful. When we live our life in the way that we know we should be living our lives, we too will be able to face our end very peacefully. How are you living your life? What is it that you could do today to prepare yourself a little bit better? Think about it.
For more in-depth talks from Swamini Supriyananda and other excellent teachers of the Chinmaya mission, you can subscribe to chinmayaclix.com. That's chinmayaclix.com. You can also visit the Chinmaya channel on YouTube for bite-sized inspiration and discourses on in-depth Vedantic texts. To know about local classes, activities, and upcoming retreats, visit www.chinmayamission.com. And see you on the next podcast.